a digital currency which has a decentralization of the money, right? You can divide into bits and pieces, right? And here in this case you need not see many literature, right? Literature gap is when you are writing. That's why if you in the law there also you study the literature. అంటే ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పిన వాళ్ళు సపోజ్ ఒక ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు మీరు ఒక ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ అన్నారు కదా, మీ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్స్ మీద వాళ్ళ ఒపీనియన్ ఏదైనా తీసుకుంటారు, రైట్? ఆ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ మీరు తీసుకున్న ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ఉన్న లిటరేచర్ రివ్యూస్ ఉంటాయి కదా, వాటితో మీరు కంపేర్ చేస్తారు. చేసిన తర్వాత ఏంటిది ఏం చేస్తారు, దాంట్లో మీ యాక్యురసీ ఎంత ఉంది. ఒకవేళ రేపటి నాడు దట్స్ వాట్ అగైన్ ఐమ్ టెలింగ్ యూ, ఇన్ రీసెర్చ్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ విత్ లిమిటేషన్, అండ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద లిమిటేషన్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఫర్ యూ, రైట్? that kind next that limitation is a part of assumption to the next candidate, right? And ఏదైతే లిమిటేషన్ మనం పెడతామో ఆ లిమిటేషన్ వేరే వాళ్ళకి అజంప్షన్ లాగా తీసుకొని అగైన్ దే ఫర్దర్ విల్ వర్క్ అండ్ ది కంటిన్యూయేషన్ ఆఫ్ రీసెర్చ్ విల్ బి డన్, right? So that is the beauty of research, because I attended many the seminars on this one and many PhD viva voice. That's called the pre-submission something and the final submission as well. And many of this one, those students who done their PhDs, right, and particularly the state universities doesn't have any value at the the national universities or at the international universities. Simply they have a పేరులో ఏం లేదు, డాక్టర్ అని అర్థం అంతే. Simply only that is doctor. That is one thing. Apart from this one, nothing. So, and you choose some topics. If you are very much interested towards teaching and research, then what will happen? You go for this one. Otherwise, if you guys are very much interested in practicing, right, whether it is litigation, whether it is corporate, whether it is the government side, let's say there is the specialist officers in all the sectors. Like in case of the banking, you again it is separate notification. Like it's a very good some notification only. And in case of the, if you write the clerk, you know that what we call this. If you are below 100 rank, what will happen? You might get a call from the this Maharatnas, Mini Ratnas. That's what PSUs, right? Public sector undertakings. So there also you can serve as an law officer, but simply you are an employee. You are not an advocate there. Okay. So నెలకు ఒక జీతం వస్తుంది, ఆ జీతం చేసుకుంటూ బతకాలి అంతే. But in case if you are in this field, what will happen? You have a fame, name, popularity, protocols, right? నలుగురు పోతే నమస్కారం పెడతారు. Even if the IPS officer also is there, he need to be stand and he need to be disciplined in front of a judge, right? And that's what the judicial power. If anybody asks me which is greater one, right? Whether IPS, that's what the all three organs, right? What are three organs of the government? Executive, judiciary. No. Right, legislative. So who is the, what we call this? Who is the superior among all three? Executives? Legislators. Okay. Why it is diverse of opinion again? Yes, please. Online ఎవరైనా చెప్తారా? మీకు సంబంధం లేదు కదా? చలో, anyway. So what will happen? That's what there is a one judgment here. దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే judicial restraint అంటాం. What is mean by judicial restraint? There is a word. You might know the judicial review. Judicial restraint word also is there.
Restrictions on judiciary after a certain limit.
Yes, very good. So that is what judicial restraint. Generally what will happen, I'll give you one example. Let's say not recently, from the many years, what will happen? The Delhi High Court is giving instruction to the government. If you not make a legislation on so-called one subjects, that's what, excuse me. So in this case, what will happen? Suppose there is related to the pollution, right? If it is the winter, particularly in Delhi, the pollution is one of the biggest problem, right? And due to that, what will happen? The suffocation problem, again children's, the aged persons, right? They are, that's what due to the particular so-called this pollutions, what will happen? Many deaths are occurred. And that's the reason what will happen, the many organizations, NGOs are filing a pills, right? Public interest litigations in order to contain this one. Then what will happen? That is the reason. And here, what you guys might know this one, right? If you follow the regular newspaper, odd even number in Delhi, vehicle numbers, right? So that is the reason that you need to understand. In this case, judiciary is what, given direction to the government. to implement these laws, other brought some sort of legislation on this one. Otherwise, by passing the order of judiciary, what will happen? It act, I mean judiciary, once it is pronounces, it is what? That whatever, even the government, whatsoever is there, they has to follow the judgment. Right? If whatever judgment is not followed by the government, what will happen? It comes under the what? Again, contempt of, right? तो ये होता है, इसीलिए that's why what will happen in Telangana also one IAS officer, he has the contempt cases. How many? Officially. I think he is ready to take voluntary retirement right now. I don't want to name this one, but this fellow is what? IAS officer. Right? How many of you saw those videos in YouTube which pop-ups and some, here the High Court judges that takes class for the IPS officers. Right? So when you saw those videos, you feel proud of yourself. Huh? Right? So again, that is the one thing, and that is the reason. Right? So these are the what part of judiciary. So make sure that you know small things as well. Right? That is the one thing. Now I am coming back to this, how to present the paper answer. Right? So first one is what, ma? Clear, structured and formatting. Yesterday I told you that body part, intro part and conclusion part. So in intro part, what you need to write is, just read the first one, begin your answer with a clear introduction, outline the main points you intended to address, and the next is organize your answers into a distinct sections or paragraphs for each key point or issue. When you are presenting different things, you take or you need to write what? Different point on each one. You need not to write all the points in one single line or one single paragraph. Okay? So that is the one thing. I will show you one answer script, right? That right now the morning batch, yesterday I told you, right? One girl is writing. Just, I shown few students who came here earlier as well, right? And that is the one thing here. And use the headings, subheadings to make your answer easy to navigate. इसका मतलब simply when you are using this heading, subheadings, what will happen? You are giving a clear hint to the examiner or to the evaluator to भैया आप ये हमारा पॉइंट ये चेक करो हम क्या लिख के. You are not giving him time to go and search what you are written in your paper actually. You are just navigating him, you are just guiding him to what? Through your answer, through your headings. What will happen? ఇది రాస్తారు simply. That's why what will happen? If he reads, what will happen? మీ మార్క్స్ పోతాయి. When you are writing the answer, just remember that what will happen, you need to guide or you need to write such a beautiful answer. చూసి ఆన్సర్ మార్క్స్ వేసేయాలి అంతే. When if any evaluator is going to read your paper, definitely what will happen, somewhere at some point what will happen, you write something that is, that might be contradictory to the question itself. Right? So for that reason what will happen, it is better, or it's burden that lies on you only to how to write and what to write. Again, you are guiding the examiner what to evaluate as well, right? So make sure that you are at least using this one. Okay? So that is what the clear structure and formatting. Right? Next is what, ma? Concise and precise language. Right? I told you yesterday as well. Sir, nenu Delhi, Kolkata, Bombay rasta ante kudiradu, right? Again, word limit, you just limit yourself, you are writing your answer at least lesser than 400 words. At least, because each question contains 10 marks. There is hardly 10 questions, 3 hours of time, and you need to finish those 10 questions within 3 hours of time period, right? So again, each question carries 10 marks, right? And you limit yourself maximum up to 400 words, not more than that. Sir, మరి అన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ అట్లే రాయాలా అంటే మీరు అన్ని క్వశ్చన్లు పర్ఫెక్ట్ అవ్వలేరు కదా. Isn't it? There are 10 questions. In 10 questions, can you write all 10 questions the best and the great? Is that possible? Why? Right, that's the reason. Suppose let's take one topic. In this one, you are suppose good at one act. You take liberty at over there. అక్కడ 400 రాసేదాకా 420, 430 తీసుకొని రాయండి, no problem. Right? But one thing is that నాకు రాదు అని వదిలేదు అసలు. నాకు ఈ టాపిక్ రాదు. ఎగ్జామినర్లో ఏంటంటే what will happen, nothing, something is better than nothing, right? So if you leave that question, you will get 0 marks. If you write something, what will happen, you might get 1 marks or 2 marks or 3 marks. Depends on the content that you write. If you leave the blank, what will happen? Definitely you will get 0. And in order to success in your exam, you know that 0.25 also matters. Even 1 marks also matters. And I mean, many of the students after writing their mains examination, వాళ్ళు అంటారు, అన్నా నేను రాసిన ఎగ్జామ్ మామూలుగా రాయలేదు. వాళ్ళు వచ్చి చెప్తారు మనకు ఎగ్జామ్ అయిన తర్వాత, అన్నా నేను సూపర్గా రాసిన, మైండ్ బ్లోయింగ్, ఈసారి పక్కా మెయిన్స్ రిజల్ట్స్ వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ డే కలుస్తారు. వీ వోంట్ ఆస్క్ జనరల్లీ ఫర్ ది స్టూడెంట్స్, బట్ దే విల్ కమ్ అండ్ టెల్, అన్నా మళ్ళీ మిస్ అయిందన్న. దట్స్ కాల్డ్ ది ఓవర్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ సింప్లీ ఎగ్జాగరేటింగ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. Right. So here what will happen, I told you yesterday as well, simply it is not about it's not about your single answer. They will correct hundreds of paper, like in case let's say 40 vacancies, 400 papers, right? In case of the 50 vacancies, 500 papers. Those who are writing the best of the best answers can be what? Given the good marks. And you feel that one act is little tough or boring, you leave that act. But your competitor know that, he knows that भैया ये सब पढ़ के आएंगे, मैं मतलब कुछ भी हो जाए मुझे पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है. At any cost, I don't want to leave a single act or single section. Right. So it is like little long journey. So you prepared that. And there are simple acts as well. Like I told you, right? Exercise act, gaming act. Hardly you will get 2.5 marks questions also దాంట్లో నుంచి. You need not to stress more on that one. So that is the reason you need to prioritize your acts itself. So అందుకని చెప్పేసి you are very clear and you are just using this one. This is the very first thing that you need to remember. Because again, according to me, this is the first thing. Again I prioritized what to write and this one. पहले तो आपका स्ट्रक्चर करो, कंसाइज बाद में लिखो. आप कंसाइज नहीं करेंगे, but you followed this one, at least your answer looks little disciplined. Right? So this is one thing. Here clear structure and formatting very important. Then the concise and precise language. You are not deliberately stretching your answers. Like సినిమాలో lag అంటారు కదా. You are not doing him. Even few people or few students narrate the stories. Tariq pe Tariq, that you remember dialogue, right? The same here as well. So in this case, what will happen? Be concise and stick to the relevant facts, laws and arguments. Right? So the next one is what? Avoid unnecessary verbosity or repetition in your answers. You are writing same thing again and again. What will happen? So in this case, what will happen? Just remember this one. The first impression is what? Best impression. Right? And I came to know that exactly for this one, I don't know exactly about how the correction goes into judiciary, but in case of UPSC, right, what will happen? There are 20 questions in UPSC. Generally, what will happen? The 4 questions will be corrected by one faculty. All 4 like that they will correct. The not only one professor will correct the what? The one single professor comes, he will collect all the papers. Reason is simple, because in the paper 1, paper 2, if you look at this one, GS 1, 2, 3, if you go GS 1, what will happen? There is a history, there is a geography, there is a art and culture, and there is what? One more thing, society, right? So these are the 4 parts. In case of this one, it is not like that, because there is what? Civil law and criminal law. Each professor will collect what? The civil laws. Those who are good at criminal law, they will correct the criminal law. So there is no as such thing is there. Because what will happen in this case, the first impression is best impression. While you are writing the first answer, you take time, at least you follow all these 5 points, so that what will happen, the next answer, first chadivar ankondi, he feels very good about it, this one, next chadavada ayana. That's what human tendency is. And if he impressed by your answer by reading at this one, then what will happen? It's a bonus for you. ఒకవేళ మీరు ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్తో కనుక వాళ్ళని ఇంప్రెస్ చేయగలిగితే, మీ ఆన్సర్తో కనుక వాళ్ళని ఇంప్రెస్ చేయగలిగితే, వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్? దే వోంట్ చెక్ फॉर యువర్ రెస్ట్ ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस. सिंपली दे विल बस टिक मार्क करके जाएंगे. जो भी मार्क्स है आधा नंबर ज़्यादा मिलेगा सबको. Right? So that is the one thing. Next is what meant in this case? The legal citation and authorities. Right? In this case, what ma? Legal citation and authorities. Refer to relevant legal provisions, case laws, precedents to support your argument. I told you that when you are writing something, you need not to, we saw the questions, right? Whether or not. Questions are there like, yesterday we saw the few questions, right? And there it is clearly mentioned whether you can follow these rules or not. And if so, then you need to state the reasons. So here, whatever the reasons that you are writing, again, if it is any citations are there, or if any case laws are there, you need to write those by substantiating the same thing. Again, whatever the citation that you are writing, again, they has to confirm the same thing, whatever the argument that you are written. And you cannot write the contrary judgments. Right? So that is the one thing. Next is what? Clearly cite the source and authorities you rely on. Let's say this judgment is, High Court judgment. If it is All India report, right? Otherwise, if you are just relied in Manu Patra, you clearly mention what kind of source is that. It means simply you are saying that whatever the content I written, it's not my opinion. This is what given by the judiciary. It is what written in the legislation, and I'm same thing. I'm just relying on same thing again. So in the, whether you are writing for the what civil law or criminal law, in this case, you are not gonna write your opinion. You just simply write what Act says, what the Supreme Court judgment says, right? And if any illustrations are given under the Act itself, you can quote the same as well. That is the one thing that you need to understand. And next is what? Show deep understanding of the legal principles involved. Right? So this is what the third condition. The fourth one is what ma? A logical and coherent argumentation. Right? Suppose you guys believes in the what? Some superstitious things. Some of you, let's consider. And if you follow the same and if you write the same, can you get the good marks? हम क्या है भैया? We are the advocates. So what is the lab for us? Suppose if it is science students, they have a lab, right? जाओ भैया आप experiment करो. Does the advocates or the lawyers has the labs?